I've been there scrolling through endless listings of outdoor speakers that look sleek on a photo, read a handful of glowing specs, and then end up with a pair that sounds like they're playing behind a closed garage door. The disappointment is real, especially when you've already set up a patio, bought a grill, and are ready to enjoy music by the pool. You start to wonder if any of these weatherproof claims actually hold up once the sun sets and the humidity rises. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What makes the Bowers & Wilkins AM1 stand out is that it's not just another budgetish model dressed up with a rain shield claim. It's a speaker from a brand that has spent decades engineering high-end home audio, now applied to a rugged outdoor chassis. The category itself is tricky. You need something that can survive splashes, UV exposure, and temperature swings, yet still deliver music that's clear enough to hear over conversation and the occasional sprinkler. That balancing act is why I dug into the design details before hitting record. Installation is often the hidden pain point with patio speakers. The AM1 comes with a cast aluminum wall bracket that snaps onto the back of the speaker and then bolts to a surface. In practice, that means you can mount them on a stucco wall, a wooden fence, or even a concrete railing with just a drill and a few screws. The wiring is a simple 2-wire system. You run speaker cable from your amp or receiver to the brackets, plug in the connectors, and you're done. No need for tricky waterproof seals on the cable because the speakers themselves are sealed, which saved me a couple of frustrating trips back to the hardware store. Sound is where the rubber meets the road. The AM1 uses a 1-inch aluminum dome tweeter for highs and a 5-inch Glassfibre cone for mids and bass. In a typical backyard setting, think a 12-foot table surrounded by chairs. The highs cut through without being shrill, and the mids give vocal tracks and acoustic guitars a natural presence. The bass isn't floor-shaking, it's more of a warm, rounded thump that fills the immediate listening area but doesn't bleed far into the neighbor's yard. For a dinner party of 8 to 10 people, the speakers provide a pleasant soundtrack without forcing everyone to raise their voices. Weather resistance is the claim that usually trips people up, but the AM1 lives up to it in a practical sense. The cabinet is coated with a rust-proof finish, and the drivers are sealed against moisture. I left them out through a sudden summer thunderstorm, heavy rain, a gusty wind, then a quick drop in temperature, and the next morning there was no water intrusion, no rattling, and the sound was exactly the same. The only thing you'll need to watch is the cable connections. Keep the terminals under a small silicone cap if you expect a lot of splashing. Who should consider these speakers? If you have a defined listening zone, a patio roof, a garden wall, or a poolside lounge and you value a clean, refined sound over sheer volume, the AM1 is a solid match. They're also a good fit if you already own a decent amp or receiver and just need quality transducers that can handle the elements. Because they're wired, they work best when you have a nearby audio source, like an indoor AV receiver fed through a short run of speaker wire, or a dedicated outdoor amp mounted in a weatherproof box. On the flip side, there are scenarios where you might want to look elsewhere. If your space is an open field or a large deck where you need sound to travel 2,030 feet, the modest bass and limited SPL of the AM1 could leave you chasing the volume knob and still not filling the area. They also aren't a plug-and-play Bluetooth solution. You'll need a wired connection, which some casual users find inconvenient. And if you're shopping on a tight budget, the premium price tag of a Bowers & Wilkins brand might not justify the incremental audio gain over a well-reviewed mid-range outdoor model. Let's break down the practical strengths. First, the weatherproofing is genuinely engineered, not just a marketing label. You can leave them out year after year without worrying about rust. Second, the sound signature leans toward accuracy. Vocals and acoustic instruments come through cleanly, which is perfect for a relaxed dinner or a low-key cocktail hour. Third, the mounting hardware makes the whole process feel like a weekend DIY project rather than a professional install. Finally, the brand pedigree brings a certain peace of mind. You're buying a product that benefits from decades of acoustic research. Now for the weaknesses you'll notice once they're on the wall. The bass response, while pleasant, won't satisfy anyone who wants that deep, cinematic thump for a backyard movie night. Because the speakers are passive, you'll need an external amp that can deliver enough power without distortion. A low-budget receiver may sound strained. The wired setup, while reliable, means you have to plan cable runs, which can be a cosmetic issue if you don't hide.